Hello, everybody. This is Kim Danke. Thank you for joining me tonight for the Shibboleth Lifestyle Overview. We're going to go ahead and do some little housekeeping before we get started tonight. If you will look down at your chat button, whether you're on a computer or whether you're on your phone or an iPad, you should see where it says chat. Click there, and then where it says all panelists, click there, then choose all panelists and attendees. So while you are doing that, um, after you've done that, please say hello, where you're watching from, or where you're from, and how you heard about Shibboleth, along with if you're new or here for a refresh. Just tell us a little bit of information. And while we're doing that, I'm going to get us live on Facebook. All right, we are live on Facebook. Thank you. Thank you for setting your chat to all panelists and attendees. Most everybody's done that. Look next to your name where you have chatted and make sure it says all panelists and attendees, please. Hey, Jane from Dahlonega. Awesome. Gina told you about it. That's fabulous. Melinda from Rydell, Georgia. Fabulous. Troy Dawn from Marietta. Heard about it from a current member. Fabulous. Cynthia, Tallahassee, Florida, referred by Andrea. Hey, that's awesome. Hey, Alice, current member. This is a refresh. Sarah, a friend referred her in Ponte Vedra, Florida. Awesome. Hey, Dave from Chattanooga, Tennessee. First night. Welcome. Awesome. Angela Griffin, Talmo, Georgia. And Linda, Palmetto, Georgia, currently sitting at Hamburg State Park. Fun. Member for 2 years, but have never gotten serious. Well, I'm glad that you have now. That's awesome, Linda. Lee Connors from Norman, Oklahoma, was referred by daughter and son-in-law who are current members. Awesome. Melissa Crawley from Calhoun, Georgia, found out through work, here for a refresh. Hey, Heather. Heather from Huntsville, Alabama. She starts tomorrow and was referred by Karen Price, who lost 120 pounds. Wow, that's awesome. Thank you for telling us that, Heather. That is some great encouragement as we start our evening. And Julie from Indiana, listening for encouragement. That's awesome, Julie. And Ashley from Climax, Georgia, referred by Andrea. That's awesome. Marcia McNutt from Mableton, Georgia, heard about it from her sister. And Tammy, hey, Tammy, glad you're here. Larson's from Powder Springs. Sarah Morgan from Ponte Vedra. Erica W. Awesome, Erica. Um, Dava from Chattanooga, first night, awesome. Becky from Alabama. I think these are repeating. And then Dava, hairdresser, referred you. That's awesome. Well, welcome. We are so glad that you are here. Yes, thank you. Shibby Shop Sherry is on Facebook watching. And even though she has lost 72 pounds, right? Is it 72 now? 72 pounds on the lifestyle. She's watching again because she says you cannot hear it too much. You really can't, especially when you've had, I'm just going to say 50 as an average, especially if you've had 50 years of bad habits, how many ever years you've had of bad habits. It takes hearing this over and over and over and over again to Get these new habits and these new mindsets in your mind. So what we're going to do tonight is we are going to, hey Jennifer, glad you're here. Glad you're here. This is awesome. We're going to share, I'm going to share a PowerPoint with you. And basically, we're going to talk about all of the new language that you're going to learn in Shibboleth. Because when you read things and watch things and look at posts on Facebook and we're talking about these things, we want you to understand that. And how are you going to understand that if you've never taken the time to watch the videos or have somebody tell you what those things are? Hey, Patty Bass. Patty Bass has lost 61 pounds since October 11th. Awesome. Thank you for enjoying. She says for everybody to take notes, and enjoy the journey. Hey, Gail from Marietta, first week, a bit overwhelmed, so need to watch twice. Totally understandable. Also, make sure to schedule a mentor appointment. Those are highly recommended and they're included in your membership. Lynn just signed up yesterday and want to get started right away. Did my quick start videos today. Awesome. Okay. Now, when y'all watch the videos from Fast Track, also make sure that you do every step in every lap. That Fast Track lap system is very important. Every step in every lap. And you need to read the little black box first. I'll show you this in the end. So we're going to go ahead and get started and I'll show all that in the end. Oops. I need to share my screen. Okay, so what we've got right here is this PowerPoint presentation that I use to teach the lifestyle. And this is a lifestyle. This is not a diet. Okay, this is a lifestyle because diets really diets don't work. Okay, you got to make a decision to change habits for a lifestyle. And so, what this is, it's a management system. It's a management system to help you make monthly choices, weekly choices, daily choices, and meal choices. So, it really is a management system that, oh, I'm so thankful for. I've lost 50 pounds myself, and I've been maintaining that now for 19 months. And I've been with Shibboleth 2 years. So it took me about 5 months to lose the 50 pounds. All right. We have two modes in Shibboleth. You are either in weight loss mode or maintenance. Weight loss or maintenance. There are three differences between weight loss and maintenance. One, the number of holidays that you can have in a calendar month. Two, how you eat fruit. And three, your mindset. A lot of people are starting this off as a diet, and I want to tell you that's fine. That's fine. Go ahead. Start it off as a diet because most of the time when people start something off as a diet, they're excited, they're ready to go. So, use that to your benefit. But by the time you get to maintenance, you need to know that this is a lifestyle. If you stop doing the things that created success for you, it'll also go back the other way. Okay. I mean, that's just common sense. We have two types of days, a perfect day or a holiday. Now, you're going to find these in your journal. So every morning, I like for everybody to go into their journal and say what type of day they're having that day, because you need to determine that in the morning, okay? And if you are a member that when you click on that and you see like 12 different types of days there, I want you to literally put on blinders and say, I'm only looking for a perfect day or a holiday. Ignore all those others. Just know that those are advanced types of days that you can move into in the future if and when you choose, because this lifestyle can be done with just the perfect day and the holiday. Okay. So perfect day or holiday. So how many holidays are allowed? When you are in weight loss mode, you can use up to 6 holidays in a calendar month. And a holiday is a day where you are not meeting some component of what we call the Shibboleth shield. And we're going to go over that in just a second. In maintenance mode, you can use up to 12 holidays in a calendar month. Think about that. That's almost half the month. That once you get to maintenance, that you can do that and you will still be able to maintain your weight loss. Those other 18 to 19 days in a month do need to be truly perfect days, like we're going to talk about, for you to be able to maintain that. If they turn into okay days, an okay day is really a holiday, okay? So, how do you have a perfect day? You follow the Shibboleth shield. After 2 perfect days, your body gets into a state called EFB, efficient fat burning. And this is what we want to do. In Shibboleth, we want to efficiently burn fat. We don't want to just in general lose weight. That weight could come from losing muscle mass, heart mass, etc. We want to access and specifically target and access stored energy, which is just fat. That's what fat is, stored energy. We overate on certain days and it just didn't get burned off. And then day after day after day, it just collected and then it got where it was. Okay. But we've got to turn this around by focusing on targeting and accessing that stored energy so that you can burn it off. So there's 5 components to a perfect day. Now, after I started doing this as a lifestyle, I was following that Shibboleth shield, every day, doing the right things. I figured out that in my mind, these I call these my 5 daily disciplines. So these are my 5 daily disciplines that I do to maintain my weight loss. So, component number 1 of the shield is water. You want to drink at least half a gallon of water every single day. That would be 64 ounces. That is a must in order to say that you've met that qualification of that component of the shield. So, but if you can shoot for a gallon, that would be absolutely awesome, because the more you drink, the better. You are more mentally and physically satisfied when you're drinking lots of water. And water also helps metabolize and flush out fat. So that's good. A dehydrated body will not efficiently give up fat or waste. And it's absolutely amazing how many people think they're drinking plenty of water, but then when they start to measure it in order to meet this component, they're quite surprised at how much they didn't drink before. We are going to be normalizing our hydration levels this week, and that's going to help a lot. I want you to know that water weighs something and it takes up space. And so we've got to normalize that by having a lot of water flushing. I know this might sound funny, but flushing water out, and it will help you lose weight and normalize those hydration levels. Component number 2 of the Shibboleth shield is to journal. Okay. We've got to write down everything that we eat. This is absolutely crucial to changing your habits. Crucial. We have to journal to learn the lifestyle, because it helps us. If you're writing down that you're eating chicken, you're going to write down that that's a lean protein, and it'll help you learn the lifestyle. So you do need to journal to say that it was a perfect day. So if you bite it, you write it. If you nibble it, you scribble it. If you drink it, you ink it. And if you hog it, you log it. Okay. It don't matter what type of day is, everything that goes in your mouth should be written down. This is very important, because now you're a citizen of Planet Shibboleth, and there aren't idle bites on Planet Shibboleth. All right. We get lots of awesome and yummy bites, but not just random idle ones. We're going to use them in a planned and organized way. So we do need to journal our foods. Component number 3 of the shield is combinations. Secret alert right here. This is extremely important. So we're going to eat properly combined meals. We're going to eat in a way that controls insulin, aka the fat bus. Insulin is the fat bus. Insulin is the fat bus. Properly combined meals keep away the fat bus. Now, we're going to talk about insulin more at the end of this video, but I'm just going to leave that right there for you, that it is the fat bus, insulin is. And this one right here, this component, out of the 5 components to the shield, this is the only one that has to do with what you're actually going to be eating. That first one was water. The second one is writing down your foods. So this is the only one that has to do with what you're actually eating. but it's pretty important, right? You got to know what to eat. So I'm going to go over it a little bit tonight as an overview, but tomorrow night, which is part 2 of our 2-part series to get you started, is 1 full hour on this topic because it's that important to learn so that you'll know what to do. Component number 4 of the shield is portion control. Now, most people automatically think I've got to eat less if I want to lose weight, and it's true. But we supercharge our results with the insulin control. So we're going to eat properly portioned meals from a 6 to 8 inch plate using the 2-hand rule. So having a little smaller plate is definitely helpful, but no matter what, you have your measuring tools with you wherever you go. So if you go to a restaurant and they serve your meal on a big giant plate, you might want to portion it off right then, put some of that into a to-go box right away. And then that way you make sure that you have portion controlled your food because they serve a lot at restaurants. So we use our 2-hand rule. What that means to you is we close our fingers as close as possible. We move our thumbs out of the way. We put our hands together as close as possible. We do them like this. We lower them down over our food. And if you can't see your food sticking out around your hands, you're good to go. You have portion controlled. I love that because I am not a measurer or a weigher or a counter of calories. I'm not. And I like just having the simple way to measure. So we've gone over 4 of the 5 components to the shield. So this one is really important. And if you're taking notes, please write this down. There are 3,500, so 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. So in order to lose 1 pound of fat, you've got to be in a calorie deficit of that much to lose it. That doesn't typically happen in 1 week. So, I'm sorry, in 1 day, because you would be working out all day and not eating to get in that type of calorie deficit. What I was trying to say is it happens over a course of time. So we've got to be in a daily, weekly calorie deficit and control insulin to have success and lose that body fat. Okay, so those are the 4 that we must do in order to say that we've had a perfect day. But there's 5. There's 5. And so we're going to go over that last one. There's 5 components to the shield. If you don't hit this last one just right, then it's okay. And I'll tell you, if you go beyond it, it's not okay. It would not be a perfect day anymore, but I'll explain that. Tammy, is there a calorie reference though? Not really. You can look at your food and see what the calories are on the foods that you eat, but we don't really talk about calories hardly, I mean, ever. Travis will eventually mention them. He's our founder. He will eventually mention them in videos and other things just because people are curious and they ask. But if you are looking to have an idea of how many calories you should not go over in a day, I can tell you that whatever your goal weight is, you take that number and you multiply it times 8, and that would give you how many calories you don't want to go over in a day in weight loss mode. Once you get to maintenance mode, you can multiply your goal weight by 10 and you could do that. But that would be, maybe that's a good calorie reference for you, Tammy, but we don't really talk about it as in meals and stuff too much. Okay, component number 5 of the shield is timing. We can eat up to 3 meals a day. 3 meals. You're welcome. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you are not a breakfast eater, no worries. You don't have to eat breakfast. But if you do eat breakfast, let's say you eat at 8 o'clock in the morning, we like for you to have your meals 4 to 6 hours apart. We do not believe in the myth that we should have our 5 or 6 small meals a day. See, there's a lot of digestive issues out there in the world today, and it's because we are overworking our digestive system. There's a lot of medical commercials talking about digestive issues, and it's because we're overworking a machine. The machine of our digestive system is being overworked. When a machine is overworked, it eventually breaks down. So we need to give our digestive system a break between meals to start the digestive process. So let's say that you eat at 8. 4 hours later would be lunch. maybe you eat dinner at 6. So that would be 4 hours in the morning, 6 hours in the afternoon. That would really be great if you did that. But we do know in the very beginning, sometimes people are going from grazing a lot and they need a few other things to utilize. So we call it in moments of mental weakness when you're just like, oh, I'm going to give up a perfect day if I can't have something. Then you definitely want to use an approved freebie, extra, or snack. And in the fast track lap system, I'm going to have you filling out a worksheet and you're going to look for freebies in the food library. You're going to look for extras in the food library. You're going to look for snacks in the food library to see which ones you might like and things that you already may buy, but maybe you need to eat less of them or something like that. But that's part of the fast track laps that I want you to do. And then, but keep in mind that we are trying to stop grazing. So this is my other little teaching tool, friend. See, this is a cow. This cow is a grazer, and his stomach was designed with 4 chambers in it to be able to break down foods because he was designed as a grazer. We're not designed as grazers. We only have one stomach, no chambers to help break down. So we don't need to graze. That's just a habit that we've picked up over the years and just different studies and things like that. But we don't really need to graze. So this timing one is all about optimization of the first 4. This will help you optimize what you do. So 4 to 6 hours apart for your meals. If you don't eat breakfast, totally fine. Now, let's say that you have 3 meals, a freebie, an extra, and a snack. That honestly looks like grazing, okay? But I want you to keep in mind that this is still a good Shibboleth perfect day. So let's talk about an even better Shibboleth perfect day. Maybe you do 3 meals and a freebie. Okay, it's a little bit less calories on the packages of the snack and the extra that you left out. And that would be a better Shibboleth day. Then let's say that you just do 3 meals a day. That would be an absolutely awesome Shibboleth day. And that's pretty much what I did in my first 5 months. Now, I've added in an extra or a snack now that I'm in maintenance, but I didn't in weight loss. But y'all got to do what keeps you perfect. So utilize what you have to keep you perfect. And then, you maybe can drop off some of those things and make your fat loss go even faster. And then maybe if you get to when you get to maintenance, you want to add something back, you possibly can do that. Okay. So these are the 5 components to the shield. And you can kind of see how I call them my daily disciplines. It's a daily discipline to start to train yourself to drink water, to train yourself to write down your foods, to make sure that you're eating in a way that controls insulin, to portion control, and to give yourself time between meals. So I just needed to be living a more disciplined life. And it's really it's changed my life. It's been beneficial in so many ways. I'm so much happier, healthier, more comfortable in my own skin, my clothes, everything. Okay, so let's talk about how to put together a properly combined meal. So to put together a properly combined meal, you need to know that we have 7 categories of food. So the first category is a lean protein, and I'm going to just kind of go along this list here. Lean protein, or you might see the abbreviation LP. See, like right there, the very first top one in that red column, 1 LP. That 1 is not quantity. That's the category number. Category 2, fibrous carbs, FC. Category 3, energy carbs, EC. Category 4, protein plus fat, PF. Category 5, fruit or FR. It's also known as an antioxidant carb. The reason I tell you that is because on a couple of documents that I saw in the very beginning when I started, there was AC on there. And I was like, what's AC? And then turns out after I asked, it's fruit. So I always just kind of explain that in the beginning. So if you see antioxidant carb, just know that's fruit. Category 6 is superfood or SF. Category 7 is shellfish or SHF. Now, look at this right here in parentheses, which is really just a lean protein. So shellfish is really just a lean protein. If you're taking notes, please write that down because I usually ask that tomorrow night and I like to have responses coming through because that helps me know that you have been paying attention tonight. But shellfish is a lean protein as well. It got pulled off of category 1 because some people, due to medical reasons and biblical reasons, don't want to eat shellfish. And so it just got pulled off into its own category. So we've got category 1 and category 7 sort of as the bookends of the categories. They're both a lean protein and they're great. You have a lot more options if you do happen to eat shellfish. But all fish is up here in category 1, lean protein. Where this shellfish is, it's all the other animals or critters that live in water that aren't fish go right here, even if they don't have a shell. So for example, octopus doesn't have a shell, but it would be shellfish if you eat octopus. I don't. But you've got your category 1 and your category 7 as your lean proteins. So if somebody ever tells you, oh, you're going to need to have a lean protein with that, you can pull that lean protein from category 1 or category 7. All right. So lean protein, let me give you like 3 on each one of these so you can start to get an idea. This is extremely important that you start to get an idea of what kinds of foods are in these categories. But what's even more important is that you figure out the foods that you personally like that go in these categories. You don't have to eat anything on Shibboleth that you don't like, but you do have to know what you like and what categories they are so that you can combine them properly. And as you are working through the fast track laps this week, a lot of what we do is helping you figure out. And it's self-paced and self-guided along with videos and everything. Okay, so we'll show that in the end. Chicken breast, fish, 96% lean ground beef or chicken or turkey. That would all be a lean protein. Your fibrous carbs, that's things like green beans, broccoli, asparagus, cauliflower, and this is usually very exciting for people. We have over 60 approved breads or bread type items like pitas and lavash bread and tortillas and loaf bread and everything right here in this category. Energy carbs, that's where you'd find all your potatoes, corn, most of your lighter colored beans, all your peas. Protein plus fat, this is where whole eggs are. Egg whites are up here in lean protein because there's no fat in them, but whole eggs, because you've got the yolk in them, they're right here in protein plus fat. All cuts of steak are here, and most pork products are here, but there's a couple up there in the lean protein. Fruit, all fruit is fruit. Superfood, this is where you are going to find your nut butters and your nuts and your seeds, avocado, most of your darker colored beans. So these are it's a very varied group. And shellfish is, we already talked about that. Okay, so what I'm going to talk to you now is how you have to combine certain things together. So, well, let me start off by telling you that there's 5 of these categories that you do not even have to combine at all. So you don't have to, you can eat lean protein by itself. And when I say you don't have to combine it, it means you can eat it by itself. You can eat lean protein by itself. You can eat fibrous carbs by themselves. You can eat protein plus fat by itself. You can eat superfood by itself, and you can eat shellfish by itself. So there's 5 of the 7 categories that don't have to be combined at all. This comes in handy because one of the things that we teach you in Shibboleth is how to make good situational choices. You're not always going to be in the same food situation. I personally, for my job, I go to a lot of luncheons, a lot. And sometimes I'm not willing to eat what all they've got up there, but then they'll have chicken or they'll have steak and I'll eat that. And so am I going to do that when I'm cooking at home? Probably not, but I'm making a good decision when I'm out and about to keep a perfect day and not bring the fat bus by eating things that aren't approved. So I hope y'all wrote those down, but to boil it down, we don't eat 3s and 5s by themselves. That's the quick and short way. So let's talk about an energy carb, which is a category 3, how I just said we don't eat it by itself. Let's say this is the information that I'm about to give you is extremely important, extremely important. So let's say that you would like to have, I'm just going to use lima beans. you would like to have some lima beans. About a quarter of a cup of lima beans is what you'd want to have. But you remember, we're using our hands as our measuring tools. And the reason I say about a quarter of a cup is just to give you that visual and everything. But it's going to be about right there. You're going to have your lima beans about right there, okay? So let's talk about the science behind eating this. There's no fat, really. There's no fat in lima beans, but lima beans are the catalyst to fat storage because of what they do. So let's do this. You eat some lima beans, your blood sugar elevates. Yeah, something that we've always thought was really great and healthy and good for us, and actually it is eaten appropriately. Um, Lima beans are going to elevate your blood sugar. Your pancreas is going to secrete insulin to deal with the blood sugar elevation. All right. But we eat in a way that controls insulin, right? So we have got to eat that lima beans. We've got to eat lima beans with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So let's look at our hands. Maybe I put a chicken breast here, and maybe I put green beans here. Okay, so I've got a lean protein here, I've got a fibrous carb here, and I've got my energy carb right there. So the lima beans elevate your blood sugar. Your pancreas secretes insulin to deal with the blood sugar elevation. You know that you've got to make a choice to control that blood sugar within, or control that insulin within that meal. So the protein in the chicken breast and the fibrous carbs in the green beans are going to help neutralize the insulin release that came from the lima beans or your energy carb. There you go. That is the secret. That's the whole secret. You've got to eat in a way that controls insulin. So you can see why it's very important for you to know the foods that you like. And I do have you doing a brainstorming activity this week that you're just going to write down all kinds of foods that you like, and then you're going to look those up to make sure that you're aware of what category they go in so that you can combine them properly. But I want to ask you another question. At a quarter of a cup of lima beans, you didn't overeat lima beans, right? That was a reasonable amount of lima beans. You didn't overeat lima beans. Therefore, the protein in this and the fiber in this can neutralize the insulin release that came from the lima beans. The reason I go into that is because if you overeat the lima beans, like a lot, then you're having too much of an insulin release for the chicken breast and the green beans to deal with that. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But hey, when you're portion controlling, everything's going to be fine, and combining properly. So the same scenario that I just gave you goes for fruit. All right, so remember at the beginning when I talked about there's two modes, weight loss mode and maintenance mode, and then one of the differences between them was how you eat fruit. Fruit, although we know fruit's good for us, it's got lots of great colors, antioxidants, a lot of phytonutrients in there. But if you are currently in the nutritional situation that you want to burn fat, then fruit must be eaten with a lean protein and a fibrous carb, not by itself in weight loss mode. So if you like fruit, you can look forward to having fruit again as a snack by itself if you choose to in maintenance. But in weight loss mode, fruit must be combined properly. When you get to maintenance mode, if you're eating fruit with a meal, you should still combine it properly. But if you also just want to have a piece of fruit as a snack for the day, then you could do that too. Okay, so let's talk about this. Maybe you want to have some berries for breakfast, and then you have it with an egg white, which would be a lean protein, spinach omelet, which would be your fibrous carb. You've got a properly combined meal. Now, berries do happen to be the absolute best fruit for weight loss because they're really low in sugar. But fruit in general is going to do the same thing like the energy carbs do. Is going to elevate your blood sugar. Your pancreas is going to secrete insulin to deal with that blood sugar elevation, but we eat in a way that controls insulin. Therefore, we put it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. And excuse me, that egg whites would be your lean protein, and that spinach would be your fibrous carb, and you'd have a lovely, yummy breakfast. But there's lots and lots of options. If I'm talking about foods that you don't like, please don't get worried. There's thousands of foods in the food library. Okay. I just might not have said something that you like, but we will find you something that you like. Okay. So now we're going to talk about another category, category 4, protein plus fat. What I need to teach you about this is what you don't eat with it. Okay. See that word right there, fat? Not a bad word. See, our bodies actually need fat for certain functions, and fat, as long as it's portion controlled, truly will just be used up as energy and dissipate as heat. But if it's overeaten, that would not be a good thing. But we're not going to overeat it. We're going to eat our portion with our hand. Like this would be your protein plus fat hand when you're having that meal. Okay. So protein plus fat. You do not want to eat protein plus fat with anything that brings more of an insulin release or an insulin release. All right. Because remember what I said about insulin? Insulin is a fat storage hormone. It's a growth hormone. It's a fat storage hormone. So if you've got a fat storage hormone out in your body at the same time as fat, it's going to go collect it. That's why we call it the fat bus. It goes around and it picks up all the fat and takes it back to its destination. And we don't want it there. We don't want it in its destination. We don't want that to happen. So we're not going to eat protein plus fats with foods that bring an insulin release. And those are your energy carbs, your fruit, and your superfoods. Okay. Now you can eat a superfood by itself because a superfood any food that qualifies to be a superfood qualifies to be that because it has all 4 macronutrients in there. So a superfood kind of deals with itself. Okay. But it will bring a little bit of an insulin release. Therefore, you don't eat it with a protein plus fat. So let's talk about the classic plate of a steak and a baked potato. The potato doesn't have any fat in it. It's just the catalyst to fat storage. So you eat the potato, your blood sugar elevates. Your pancreas secretes insulin to deal with that blood sugar elevation, but that food was eaten with a protein plus fat, like the steak. That insulin's going to come out and it's going to go, ooh, wait a minute, let me go get that fat. And that's what it's going to do. So this is how we don't store new fat while we're trying to access and burn off stuff that's already there. Okay. We don't want to be storing new fat while we're accessing and burning off the stuff that's there. Okay. So let's look at these categories or these columns here. Do you see this blue column? This is fast weight loss. Get a little bit more variety in there. Do you see how you've got 3 things in the line or more? That is fast weight loss. If you want faster weight loss, this yellow column would be better for faster weight loss. In this red column, you are blowtorching fat like you'd blowtorch butter. It is flaking off every day, consistently. It's happening with this other 2, it's just going the fastest with this. And so this would be your fastest weight loss here in the red column. But not everybody's going to stick with the red column all of the time. So if you throw in some yellow column meals or blue column meals, totally fine. It's just that if you have most of them in your red column, that would be fine. So let's look at what this is. Do you see this says 1 LP and then it says plus 6 SF plus 2 FC? First of all, we're not doing any math. Those plus signs just meaning you're having it on the plate together. This means category 1 lean protein. This means category 6 superfood. And this means category 2 fibrous carb. So that's not quantity. That's the category number and the abbreviation of the category. All right. Now remember, tomorrow's 1 full hour is on this topic. So let's go over just some basic rules. If you eat a lean protein that can come from category 1 or category 7 with a category 2, hold on, I want to change up the way that's written. So if you eat a lean protein and a fibrous carb with MCT oil, and we're going to talk about MCT oil on the next slide, then you're going to have the fastest fat burning combination. Okay, so that could be chicken breast and broccoli, that could be shrimp and green beans, whatever you want to do. With the use of MCT oil, medium chain triglyceride, it makes it the fastest fat burning combination. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Heather. I've been outside at a festival for 2 days, so maybe some of that stuff's finally coming in. But I hope not. If you want to eat a 3 or a 5, which is an energy carb or fruit, you must eat it with a lean protein, and it can come from category 1 or 7 and a category 2. Okay, so your 3s and your 5s must be eaten with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. And then we just don't eat category 4s with energy, which is your protein plus fat. We don't eat those with energy carbs, fruit, or superfoods. And this is very important for eating out at restaurants. All meat at a restaurant should be considered a category 4 protein plus fat. So let's talk about why that is. They take a piece of chicken breast, when if you cooked it at home, you would know how to cook it in the appropriate oil that we're going to talk about on the next slide. They've probably cooked it in olive oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, some other unapproved oil for a perfect day. So we have to just say that is now a protein plus fat because they took a lean protein and they cooked that fat into it. So it's now a protein plus fat. That'll keep you safe in your ordering because you will now know not to order it with any energy, carbs, fruit, or superfoods. So all meat at a restaurant is considered a category 4. Okay, let's talk about approved cooking oils. Our most recommended is 100% MCT oil, medium chain triglyceride. A medium chain triglyceride has almost no propensity to be stored on the body as fat. Did you hear what I said? This is exciting. There is an oil that has almost no propensity to be stored on your body as fat. There is. It's MCT oil. It burns up like that. Boom, gone. So it's a shorter fat lipid. And so it burns quickly. It burns fast. Now let's compare this to olive oil, canola oil, and most other oils. Those are long chain triglycerides. So it's a longer fat lipid, therefore it takes longer to burn up, and it's extremely dense. So it takes longer to break down. So we want to use 100% MCTs, and that would make your fastest fat burning combination as well. Now, you can also use coconut oil. Coconut oil is 66% MCTs, but it's not 100%. It is 66, but it's still approved. Okay. But what happens with 100% MCTs is they pulled out just the MCTs from oil and they've put it in the bottle. So there's no long chain triglycerides in there, where coconut oil has whatever is difference between 100% and 66% is long chains. Okay. So which can use it. Ghee butter is spelled Ghee. It's butter, but all of the milk solids have been pulled out of it and it's left with just the fat. So it's clarified butter. And there's opportunities to use this. Maybe you like to make a shrimp scampi that requires that butter flavor, or maybe you like to dip lobster tail or crab legs in butter, then you would use this ghee butter rather than another butter. You can also use 0-calorie cooking spray. 0-calorie cooking spray is totally fine, just to spray your pans and stuff like that. But what I do is this. If I am cooking a lean protein, I use MCT oil, the 100% MCT oil. If I'm cooking a protein plus fat, I use cooking spray. So let me just do eggs for a second. If you choose and use egg whites, then you could use MCT oil. But if you're doing whole eggs, you don't need additional fat in that because the yolk is the fat. I would use 0-calorie cooking spray. So the way I do it is any protein plus fat, I use cooking spray. Any lean protein, I use MCT. And then I use ghee butter when I need a butter flavor for something. Okay, so a lot of times I'm asked this question, why would I choose to use MCT oil over cooking spray because MCT oil does have calories in it, okay? And you would not want to use more than 1 tablespoon with a meal or a serving. So, for example, if you're cooking yourself one chicken breast, then 1 tablespoon is what you would not want to go over. If you're cooking 4 chicken breasts in the pan for the family, 4 tablespoons. You wouldn't want to go over 4 tablespoons. So whatever amount of servings you're cooking, you could use that many tablespoons of the oil. But it does have calories in it. But the reason people ask me, well, why would I want to use this, which has got calories versus this? Medium chain triglyceride does have a metabolism building effect. So it helps you burn a few extra calories, although we don't want to overdo it. Okay. Just don't use more than your appropriate amount that I've just said. It also has some muscle preserving qualities. So these are important things to us in the Shibboleth lifestyle. Now, we are only going to use medium chain triglycerides for 3 reasons only. You can use it for cooking in a pot or a pan. Hey, Gloria, thank you. I just saw your comment. You can use it for cooking in a pot or a pan or grill or however you're cooking. You can use it for cooking. You can use it in recipes. So you've got a lot of Shibboleth approved recipes in your account on the website. You can use it for that oil switch. And you can use it to make approved salad dressings. So these are the 3 ways we're going to be using that. If you're not doing those 3 things, then you don't need to use the oil, okay? We do not need to take it as a supplement. Never feel like you need to get it in. It's not a supplement. We don't take it as a supplement. If you've ever heard of bulletproof coffee, which is putting oil in coffee, or if you do that, we don't do that, okay? Because coffee is a pre-digested drink and there is nothing to slow down fat, even with a good one. Okay, so we don't do that. We also don't put it in our shakes or anything like that. It's adding random calories to things that we don't need to add random calories to. The reason I go into explaining all of that is because there's a lot of noise out there right now about medium chain triglycerides, okay? But you have to remember that the people giving that advice may not be in the same nutritional situation that we're in. We wanted to burn fat. And they might not be needing to burn fat. They may be exercise gurus and stuff like that. Well, that's different. That's different. Right now, we're focused on targeting and accessing stored energy, which is fat, to burn it off. So hope all that makes sense. I'm going to tell you the quickest and easiest way to get your MCT oil is to go to the Shibboleth store online. Or if you happen to be near Kennesaw, you could pick it up. But everybody else across the country orders online. Go in there and get the Zero Drag. That's the brand name, Zero Drag. And you'll have it at your house in a few days, and you will not waste time, energy, and effort trying to go from store to store to store to store to store, trying to find the right MCT oil. So I'm just saving your time, energy, and effort right there. When you order from the Shibboleth store, $30 or more, it ships to you for free, which is great. All right, so let's get into some other things. Awesome. Heather, MCT, to me, it does not have a taste. Now, coconut oil, I can taste that, but MCT, I don't taste anything with MCT oil. Nothing. But I do know that when I used it, like to cook chicken or something like that, and maybe I put some seasoning in there with my chicken, I put my chicken on my plate, and then I kept thinking about that MCT oil over in the pan, and I thought, they say I can eat it. So I went over and got a pan and a spatula and a little ramekin, and I pushed all of the oil out into a little ramekin, and I would cut my chicken up and I would dip that in like a little au jus sauce. So I enjoyed that a lot. So I don't taste anything, not compared to coconut oil where you can taste that. So we have a management system. Shibboleth is going to help you make decisions daily, weekly, monthly to manage. Well, first of all, to achieve your goal, to get results. But then after you get to maintenance, you got to be able to manage this for the rest of your life. Nobody wants to yo-yo. Nobody. Everybody wants to figure out how to get there and remain there. This management system will help you do that. So We are striving for perfect days, but planned or unplanned, a holiday is coming. Now, you may have heard the word cheat day. We don't cheat on Shibboleth. We call it a holiday. Okay. A holiday is a day where you can use it for celebratory reasons, or maybe you just made an accident when you're learning the lifestyle. That happens too. Okay. So, so you're gonna strive for your perfect days, but planned or unplanned, a holiday is coming. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Okay. It's not a cheat day. See, cheating has a negative connotation. Why do we want to attach negative stuff to that, to what we're doing and eating? You might have a birthday, an anniversary. It might be an actual holiday. Something great might have happened and y'all want to celebrate. Do all of those things, but not more than 6 in a month in weight loss mode. No more than 6. But after a holiday, and when you're journaling what type of day that you have each day, it creates a little icon on your timing chart. You're going to see this in the fast track laps, and you'll see why it's important to journal every day so that you get a great visual that you are doing all the right things. So after a holiday, though, it takes 2 perfect days to get back into EFB, efficient fat burning. So you want to just be aware of that. After a holiday, 2 perfect days gets you back into EFB on the 3rd day. When we are in EFB, this is huge, y'all, huge. When we are in efficient fat burning, our body is going to burn fat, which is stored energy, for the energy that we need rather than easily accessible sources of energy such as unapproved oils and starchy and sugary carbs. See, if we're giving our body starchy and sugary carbs, easily accessible source of energy, or unapproved oils, easy accessible source of energy, just like human beings, we're going to take the path of least resistance. So is your body. When it needs energy, it's going to burn up the most easily accessible. Well, it's going to have a hard time getting to that stored energy if you're always giving it easily accessible sources of energy. We want to control what we do so that on those perfect days, our body is accessing stored energy for the energy that it needs. I just think that's awesome. So we want to get those EFB streaks, and you will see that in the icon of a flame on your timing chart. Your lessons in this lifestyle are continued in the fast track laps. Okay, we're going to touch on that in just a second. What is the fat bus? The fat bus is insulin. Insulin is a growth hormone, a fat storage hormone. After an insulin release, fat storage will occur for up to 48 hours, meaning you're out of EFB, you're out of efficient fat burning. So see, 48 hours, hence the 2 days to get you back into efficient fat burning. See, what's happening during those 2 days, your body is using up glycogen and that's sugar stores and stuff, and that insulin is dissipating. So that way you're back into efficient fat burning again. Insulin also increases appetite. Have you ever eaten ice cream and then all of a sudden wanted chips and then wanted a cookie and then wanted a pickle and then wanted this, and you're like, dang, what's going on? It's because insulin increases your appetite. It will send it off the charts. So it's important to just be aware of that because you might be a little hungry the day after a holiday. Sometimes people are and sometimes they're not. It just varies. But I just want to make you aware of that if you're hungry the day after a holiday, just know, oh, that's that insulin. I'll get over this. After the fat bus has been on its rounds, it takes 2 perfect days to get back into efficient fat burning. So what are you going to eat this week? You're going to make a list of your 7 favorite lean proteins. You're going to use the tasks in the fast track laps to look at sample grocery lists, to look at the new member food library, to look at the combination charts and all of that. So you're going to pick 7. You can pick more, but at least pick 7 favorite lean proteins, which is a category 1 or a category 7, and pick 7 fibrous carbs. So if you write down 7 lean proteins that you like and 7 fibrous carbs that you like, do you remember being in elementary school where you had 2 columns of things and you just had to match up the ones that go together? That's what you're going to do. Maybe you have chicken and broccoli. Maybe you have 96% lean ground beef with green beans. Maybe you have fish and asparagus. So you're just going to put a category 1 or 7 with a category 2 And that keeps it simple. If you've got MCT, to cook it up in that. If you don't, use what you've got that's other approved until you get the MCT. And when you're combining meals, you might want to throw in that MCT. But keep it really busy in the beginning. I mean, not busy, goodness, simple. Keep it really simple in the beginning. I don't know why I said busy, where that even came from. Throw in a few meal replacements for simplicity. If you are eating Pop-Tarts now, you're going to need to figure out a Pop-Tart void replacement. If you're having cereal with milk now, you're going to need to figure out cereal and milk that works. Now, cereal and milk is not the best for weight loss, but you would still want to figure that out if you want some cereal and milk. So throw some meal replacements in, approved ones. There's a lot out there in the grocery stores that aren't approved, all right? And I used to eat meal replacements as a snack. I didn't even know they were supposed to be used as a meal replacement. I don't know why that never struck me. This is supposed to be a meal replacement. I ate it as a snack. I really just needed somebody. Hey, Brenda, I really just needed somebody to point out to me all of these things so that I would know how to make good decisions. I'd never been shown or told how to make decisions and manage this. Now I do. But keep it super simple in the beginning. And then as you continue to live the lifestyle, you will branch out. So I want you to take advantage of our awesome resources. Okay, if you are a Facebook user, you can join our support groups. You will join all the support groups just by following the little tasks that you do in the Fast Track Labs. Familiarize yourself with our awesome website. The Fast Track Labs and all the little tasks in there are going to help shorten your learning curve on how to use our awesome website. I do want you to schedule a Getting Started mentor appointment, but I want you to schedule that for next week. It's really important that you schedule this, but what's more important is that you focus on Fast Track this week by working through each step in every lap. The reason I say to do Fast Track before your mentor appointment is because if your mentor is having to explain absolutely everything to you, y'all are not having as productive of a conversation that you can have. So if you have an idea of what's going on and then y'all start talking, what she's going to say is going to make sense. But she can help you do meal planning. She can help you answer any clarifying questions that you might have after this week. And I definitely want you to schedule that mentor appointment, but for next week after you've done Fast Track. So welcome to the Shibboleth family. We are a family. I have absolutely met some of my best friends now through this lifestyle. If you don't know anybody that's doing this lifestyle, please tell them about this. Grab a running buddy. And I say running buddy because you do it together, not that you're actually running. I actually haven't done any exercise and lost 50 pounds. Now, not saying that's the grandest thing in the world to do, but because exercise is good for you. But if you've never been an exerciser, let's just do the food thing first, then get you feeling really good in your skin and in your clothes, and then you might want to start exercising. If not, it's the way that goes. But if you're already an exerciser, keep doing it. It's going to help. But this is going to be the part that's going to get you really, really great results. So while we have I'm gonna take one more minute and show you the Fast Track website. Okay. So when you go to the website, see this word up here, dashboard? I need you to click on dashboard. If you are a brand new member, it pops up to your Fast Track right away. You wouldn't have to do this additional click, but I'm not a new member, so it pops up to my instructor page. So I'm going to click on the Fast Track page. And then do you see how I don't have any little tasks listed? It's because I've finished all the laps and it collapses the laps so they don't take up space on your page. But I would just click on the lap and there it appears. Okay. So when I say complete every task, this is a task. And some of them are super quick. Some of them are longer. Some of them are joining pages, groups. Some of them are brainstorming and looking up foods in the food library. All right. But you're going to want to do every task in every lap. And not every one of these is as long. See, like look at lap 2. It's not as long as that. But what you've got to do is see how this little information eye is here. Do you see how when I hover over this information eye, or if you gently tap it, if you're doing this on a phone, a black box pops up. That black box is different for every task. You want to read the black box first, because when you read the black box, that's like you and I talking right now, why you're doing this task. And if you need to know any special information about doing the task, all of that is told to you in the little black box. So read the black box first. Then you click there or wherever it might be that you are. You do that task. After you've completed that task, you check the box. If you want to see how this is done, you can watch this video. This video is a video of me sharing my screen with you, and you can see how I'm doing all of it. So I have attempted to cover all learning styles, whether you're visual, whether you are auditory, whether you like to do, everything is covered here. And so you just do these little steps. This lap 2, very important. You're going to confirm your email. You're going to find your ideal weight, do a body assessment. All of these are crucial. You're going to add a picture to your website. You definitely want a beginning front and side picture. Many people are so disappointed that they didn't take a beginning picture when they get to their goal weight. They're like, man, I wish I'd taken one. So make sure you do that as well. Then when you get to lap 3 right here, this is really cool worksheet. Remember how I kept saying you got to figure out the foods you like? This is where you're going to start listing them out for yourself, okay? You're going to have way more than this. This is just a getting started worksheet. Then you're going to build some meals here. You're going to build some meals here. You're going to look for freebies, extras, snacks, and meal replacements. And all of these things are little tasks, okay? So if you do them in order, it helps you build, okay? So, and there's a new video for every lap, okay? So let's see. So this lifestyle would be really good for someone with PCOS, but that causes more insulin. Yes, yes. In fact, I just did an interview with a lady the other night that her doctor told her, oh, you probably won't be able to lose any weight with that PCOS. Well, guess what? She's proved the doctor wrong. She's lost 61 pounds. There's a lot of people. See, doctors, I'm not being derogatory towards them, but they don't really study nutrition. How many people have ever had your doctor say, you need to lose weight, but they don't tell you how to do it? In fact, there's a lot of doctors that, doctors that are really good people that find out about us will send their patients to us and we'll help them do it. But yes, it's very good for that PCOS. Yes, very good. But do you see how it's important to do every step in every lap of fast track, but just kind of follow it as it's indicated, okay? And then when you get to the very end, we're going to talk about what your next steps are right there and how to earn your pink shirt if you're a lady, or your white shirt if you're a man. So right there, you'll just read that black box. It'll tell you what to do. And this is going to take you to Travis, who's our founder, his original daily doses. I am very organized and pointed with this is how you do this. If you want to see results, you follow this, and then you do it every day. Travis is going to dig into a lot of why you need to do this. And he is so good at touching your heart with that information. But we do this information first. This is kind of like kindergarten, okay? Travis's original daily doses, that's like elementary school. But then when you get into all those other advanced type of days that I'm talking about, we've moved on up to college, right? But you got to do one thing at a time to learn it. We are trying to correct behaviors that we've had for a long time. So hopefully y'all love tonight, and I hope that you will join in on the webinar tomorrow night. It's very important that you come back tomorrow night. We're talking about a lot of food and what goes in what categories and what categories go together and what meals would look like in there. Awesome. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. And if you haven't registered yet, you're welcome. Thank you, Dava. Thank you. Thank you, Brenda. Awesome, Brenda. I'm privileged and get to see Brenda every Monday night. She comes to class every Monday night in Kennesaw. So if you are near Kennesaw, please join us tomorrow night at 6 p.m. And then I'll be back home to do this at 8 p.m. You're welcome, Melinda. You're welcome. If you are not near Kennesaw, please know that most of the people in the whole country and wherever they might live, because this is an international lifestyle, I always say this, anybody that has access to the internet and can understand Southern American English can do the lifestyle. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. So, yeah, Jennifer, it is funny. But anybody that, from anywhere can do this lifestyle. And just know that most everybody is doing this lifestyle online with videos and webinars and all of that. But if you do happen to be near Kennesaw, we do have 3 classes a week. Awesome, Troy Dawn, I love hearing that. I'm going to tell you, if you'll let it, it can change your life. It can change your life. And I would absolutely love, thank you, Lynn. Thank you. Yes, it is an awesome and amazing website. But what I really want y'all to do, I'm going to use that word blinders again. Put on blinders this week and focus on doing that step-by-step thing, and it'll just shorten your learning curve on the website, because the website is very robust, chock full of all kinds of little nuggets and everything, but we can look at it in an organized way. Yes, yes, put blinders on. We are not looking at advanced types of days. All we're trying to do is do fast track and get results this week. You can do it, David. You don't even need to work out, girl. Don't even need to do that. Now, later on, you might feel like it, but right now, don't worry about it. This is going to work. Yep, laser focused, laser focused. You're welcome, David. You're welcome. And join. One of the tasks in the very first lap is to like the Shibboleth public page. I go live there Monday through Friday, typically about 7:30, 7:40. Talk about 15, 20 minutes. It's morning motivation and daily devotion, Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time. If by chance you aren't on there, it'll be on the Facebook page for you to rewatch, and it also goes into your journal videos. And anytime you watch a video on the website, make sure that you mark it as watched. All right, thanks for hanging out with me for 8 more minutes so I could explain all of that, because it's pretty important. And I will hopefully see you on the Shibby Show in the morning. And if you watch the Shibby Show in the morning, please say that you were on this class tonight. Good night, everybody.